This video will cover the editing process. So basically everything you need to know before editing, the basic setup as well as the actual editing process. I'm starting here out on the on my desktop theme here, just to basically show you I'll show myself basically my files for working on anything video related. So we're starting here on the home screen, and what you want to do first is you want to go up to the top corner here onto the file here that says YouTube video stuff. Anything related to YouTube videos is all in here. Now this is still a work in progress at this point, but yeah, you want to open this up. So all of this is still very much a work in progress at this point. The idea is basically just having all of my YouTube stuff all in one spot. It's still very new and very experimental. I did have something, I had things a bit differently before, and if things don't work out like this, I'll just go back to that old format, because, you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But I had a good reason to wanting to change it in the first place, but if it doesn't work, I'll just go back to the old format and just probably make an updated version of this video. But the idea is everything's all in this one spot, so you can see there's all my intro stuff here, like there's intro and outro stuff, coming soon stuff for premiere like first episodes and trailers and stuff. Got Ask Lucky stuff for Q&As, April Fool's stuff, sound effects, templates, thumbnail making stuff and thumbnail stuff, upcoming stuff, finished videos for uploading, raw file locations, raw assets. It's all on here. Again, very experimental. We'll have to see what happens here. If this doesn't work out, we'll just go back to the old format. But yeah, you know, we'll see what happens at this point. But yeah, the idea is everything's all in one spot. Now let's have a quick little look at Adobe Premiere Pro. So this is Adobe Premiere. This is what I use to edit all my videos. And let's just quickly have a little look at all of the bits and pieces, all the significant things. We won't go through every single thing, just the stuff that you really need to focus on, pretty much. Okay, so firstly, down here we have the main timeline window, as you can see here. So this is the timeline. This is basically where you put all of your videos together. You drag all the assets into the timeline and then just order them into whichever sequence you need. You've got the timer, you've got a few little tools down here, you've got the zoom in and out down here, and then over here you've got the toolbar with various tools. As you can see, we've got the select tool, we've got the track forward tool. To be honest, I don't really use most of these. The only ones I've really ever used is really select and razor tool. But even if you don't need them, it's nice having the option of all these tools here. So that's basically a toolbar there. Okay, up next we have the audio mixer. So this is basically where you mess with all of the audio, like for the commentary, the footage, the intro and outro sequence, the master volume. All of the volume related stuff is in here. So here you can like mess with audio tracks for each one. Additionally, you can also mute various ones, like so. You see, you can mute. So you can mute them. You can mess around with them. You can see how much audio there is on each side over here. But yeah, that's the main mixer, audio mixer. And finally, the last but not least, there is more, but this is the last kind of thing that you really need to deal with, and that's effects. So in here there's an effects search bar as well as direct files, but it's much easier to just, okay, so for example, you want a crossfade, just type in cross like so, And then, yeah, so basically you can type in the effect you want and then just drag and drop it into the timeline, as you'll see later on. But yeah, that's basically all your effects. And there is more, there's a bit more to this obviously, but those are the main things you want to focus on. You don't need to worry about the top window up here, like assembly, editing, color. You don't really need to worry about that. All of what I've shown you already here is basically all you really need to know. There may be other cases where you might need the other features later on, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it, or if we even come to it. And finally, last but not least, the last thing we're going to look at before actually any editing is Paint.net. Now, Paint.net is what I use to make all my graphics, all my thumbnails, anything YouTube related or non-YouTube related. Basically, any graphics work at all is all done through Paint.net. I don't use Photoshop. I only use Paint.net just because it's more intuitive, more user-friendly, and also another plus side, it's free. It's not a sponsor, by the way. But yeah, here's everything. We're going to quickly have a little look through Paint.net and everything you need to know beforehand. As I said, it's quite user-friendly. It's quite intuitive, quite user-friendly, as you'll soon see. Again, there's a lot more stuff I can go into, which I probably will go into later on throughout the videos and such. But for now, this is just the basic stuff. Right, so first of all, right in front of us, this is like your main canvas that you use to actually create the actual graphic or thumbnail or whatever. So that's the main thing that you, basically your base. This is what ultimately the final product is going to look like, or so you can see how things are coming along. There are various other things as well. For example, here is the toolbar, which the toolbar and these other things you can like move around freely, as you can see. You can literally pick it up and then move it to wherever you want. So that's quite useful. And there are multiple tools here, and as you can see, if you look at the top corner here, as you change tools, various aspects in this top corner will change from tool to tool. So keep an eye on that. It's got like tolerance. It's got a bunch of things which will come in handy. I'll probably talk a little bit more about these in depth for like when we get into the actual editing side of things, but that's just something to keep an eye on for the time being. But yeah, there's the toolbar and all these other aspects. Again, there is other stuff like file, edit, view, image, layer, adjustments, effects. There is all that, but again, I'll talk more about that in depth later on. Now, there is also like layers here. Now, a lot of the time when making graphics and stuff, you will need to use multiple layers, as you will see later on. Also up here is your projects bar. Because there's a lot of cases where you might need to work on multiple projects at a time, or pages of particular projects. So again, that's very useful. Also, here is your color wheel down here. This is your color wheel. As you can see, you've got a variety of different colors here that you can literally choose from any color just by finding it like so. There's also like these pre-picked swatches down here, which you can also like customize through this little menu here. You can also like use that to like customize. So you can, like, if it's a particular color you want, you can like get the color here and then replace it for one of these. But I'm not going to do that because I like the default colors, which you can also go back to default if you want. So again, that's all there. I don't really use that all that much. So in addition to the color wheel, there is also the more button here, which if you press the more button, it brings up more options. Like you've got, so you can literally you can literally pick the colors like manually, like through the red, the green, the blue. You can literally find the shade just by messing with these bars here, as you can see. There's also the color hex here. If you know the exact color code of the if you know the color you're after is exact color code, you can just punch it into the hex code here. Again, there's another bar you can mess around with. So yeah, there's all this. You can use the hex, or you can just find it manually that way, but the hex is pretty much the much easier way. Down here there's also transparency. As you can see, you can mess with the transparency. That's also very useful later on, as you'll probably see. When in the more option, you can see here there's all the default color swatches, and there's also different variants like the lighter variants and the transparent variants. Again, all very useful later on, as you'll see. There is also like the undo and redo buttons. There are also like key combinations like within Premiere, but I'll talk more about them as they become relevant. So again, in layers there's multiple like things, like there's add layer, and again all that'll come in handy later on. Now down here is your zoom in and out feature. You can literally just grab the bar and drag it along to zoom in or out. There is also this button here, which is used to like center. Like if you're having trouble getting dead center, you can just press that button to get it dead center. That's very, very useful. And if at any point you accidentally like misplace your colors, or maybe your layers, or maybe your toolbar, if you accidentally misplace or close any of them, don't worry, because you can actually open them up again. Like if you misplace or close them, you can just find them again by clicking the icons in the top corner here. See, colors, that calls that back, layers, that calls that back, tools, that calls that back. There is also history, but to be honest, I don't really bother with that, and yeah, I don't really see the point of history, since it just tells you what you've done before, and I don't really see the point, so I don't really bother with that. But yeah, if you ever accidentally close anything, you can just open it back up through that little bar up there. And again, there is all this as well, but yeah, that's like there are different effects and stuff, but again, I'll talk more about them as it becomes relevant. But that pretty much covers the basics. Now, onto the actual editing process. Okay, basic setup. So before we actually start editing anything, we basically want to get the basic setup going first. So before actually going into Premiere, first you want to go into the recording file location here and just pretty much open up everything that you think you're going to need. So again, find all the files you need and just again select them. So let's see, there's that. Again, just select all of these and then just like open a new file. That'll help out. Let's see, intro and outro stuff, I'll need that. Graphics, I'm also going to need that. What else? Templates, I'll need that. And I think that's everything. Again, just try to open everything you feel like you're going to need. So open all them. might take a second. So right, you also want to set things up in paint.net. So just open something just so you can have a quick save too. So I'll open this for the sake of a quick save. Again, I'll explain this in greater detail once we actually get to the editing side of things, but this is just the basic setup pretty much. So open that, templates, okay, so let's see, open that, and then I think I'll go to, let's see, PC, mouse and keyboard, so open them, like so. Again, it's just basic setup pretty much. So just pretty much open everything you think you're going to need to some capacity. Again, just basic setup. So And I don't think I'll need that one, but I'll set it up just in case, and also with the text box. But yeah, again, just set up everything that you could think you might possibly need. So again, just set everything up in Paint.net. I'll explain more of this during the actual editing process. But yeah, just open everything you think you're going to need. Keep this open just in case you've forgotten something, just have quick access. And now you're going to want to go into Premiere here. I've already opened Premiere up just because it can take a while to open, but once it's open, then you want to go to New Project. So go to New Project, and then just give it a second. Okay, and make sure that the location is set to, just make sure it's set to here. So G saves for YouTube, Twitch, Adobe Premiere. Basically, make sure that that's where it's saved. Make sure that's the location of where everything's going to. And then, if it's not, just go to Browse and find things that way. Then you want to basically name your project. You definitely want to name your project. You don't want to leave it untitled, as it'll just be easy to work with and find. So let's just, for example, just name it Editing Demo, just for the sake of it. But yeah, basically you want to name your project. After that's all done, then you want to hit OK, and then just let it open. It could take a moment, so just give it a sec. And yeah, it can take a little while to open sometimes. I think it was taking a bit longer this time, just because this is the first time I've ever recorded and edited at the same time. So maybe it was a bit of a resource issue there, perhaps. But either way, now things are open. So now that Premiere is open, now we can actually begin editing properly. Okay, with all the preparations made, now we can actually begin with some actual editing. First thing that you want to do is you want to go down to the raw recording file, like find that, and then you want to basically go to the recording you want to edit. Again, the location will depend on where you've saved it to. For example, if it's a Let's Play, just go to Let's Play and then the respective Let's Play folder, and then just, yeah, you get the idea. But basically, go to the folder you need. In this case, we're going to go with Harry Potter 2 for editing, since that's what I've recorded for this particular thing, for the sake of example. So let's go there. And then you want to grab the footage and the audio, like so. You want to grab that and drag them both into the timeline. I know most people would usually use the clip bin, but personally, I prefer to drag things directly into the timeline myself. So I'll do that, and just let it do its thing. Let the little bar at the bottom kind of load. It needs to load both the footage and the audio. So just let that do its thing. Basically, want to grab the audio like that. So basically, that's the actual footage. That's a commentary. You want to drag the commentary down to the bottom like so. Right. So that's that taken care of. Next you want to zoom in using the zoom in thing. So again, to zoom in and out, just grab this little bottom bar and just move it across to zoom in. By default, because the nature of the recording process, recording at two separate times, by default the video is going to be out of sync, and we basically want to try and get that back in sync. Now, how we do that is, first you want to locate the clap, the first clap. So basically at the first of the audio there's 1, 2, 3, and then that fourth one is the clap. So next you want to go into your toolbar and go to your eraser tool here. So grab your eraser tool, and then you want to zoom in a little more perhaps, and then just basically make a little bit of a cut somewhere around the clap-ish audio, like maybe like So cut, maybe zoom in a bit more if you have to. Again, zoom in as much as you need to make precision movements, and you want to cut, say, like there, and also cut the one at the top as well. Then you want to go back to the selection tool, which is the little arrow there, and then you want to delete both of them and drag both here. You can select both by holding shift and then clicking them, or you can click them both at the same time. I don't know, there's multiple methods to it, but anyway, so select both of them and then drag them to the start of the actual recording, the start of the actual timeline here, and zoom out now a little bit. Okay, so we have basically by cutting that first bit, we have significantly made it so that there's less time to get to the resyncing bit, but it's still out of sync, as you can see here. So yeah, it's still really out of sync. So next, basically, you want to hit mute on both of them. So hit the little M icons here to mute the track on both of these. Yeah, so that mutes that. And now, basically, you want to try, actually, yeah, next you want to hit play here, and basically watch out for the clap. You might want to reset this a couple times because it will jitter a little bit at first. So you might want to reset that. You also might want to close and open the software. Also, make sure to save regularly. That's another important one. So again, do whatever you need to get this to like load properly, so you can actually see the frames. As you need to look at it as frame by frame. Okay, once you're sure it's done, then just look at the top screen and then try to get to the clap. So keep an eye for the lip movements, and then at the last lip movement, okay, so that was a bit too quick. So look at the last lip movement, and then try to stop it right as the hands are about to start closing for the clap. Okay, so there, the hand's about to move, so now we want to look at this frame by frame. So just then you want to keep hitting the little icon here, or you can use the button in on the arrow keys as well. So just, yeah, so stop by one, so step forward one frame. Basically you want to keep clicking this button until the hands close for the clap. Okay, the hands are closed, but you might want to keep on going like maybe a couple more frames just to make sure. Like there perhaps. Okay, try there. So then you want to get your eraser tool again and then cut here. And then, so cut here, delete that, and then drag that all the way to the start of the timeline, and that in theory should be back in sync. And then, right, so that should be back in sync now, if I correct. Let's hear how that sounds and look how that sounds. 1, 2, 3. Okay, again, it might jitter a little bit, so you might want to reset, you might want to save, you might leave and come back. 1, 2, 3. Okay, good, it's back in the sync, it's back in sync. Good. Okay, now we know it's back in sync. Next, you want to cut everything until it gets to the actual video itself. So again, scroll along until it actually gets to where the intro bit would be, which I think is, yeah, about here. So try it again. Skip all that, skip all the testing stuff, and just cut straight to where the actual video begins, which is round about here. So again, get your razor tool and cut there and there, or just before the actual welcome guys in the commentary. And then once you've done cuts there, then you want to like cut that, and then drag them both back to the start of the timeline, like so. Okay, there's a bit of a larger gap now, but just again keep just dragging it all the way to the start of the timeline, like so. And now let's see how that looks. Right, okay. Hey guys, Lucky Star Shi-Roku here. Okay, that's good. Welcome. Okay, that's good there. So, yeah, so we've gotten to this point, and now we just want to keep on looking for anything major. To another little video. Okay. Right. Making this just for the sake of just demonstrating like editing processes and stuff like that. So it's just it's just basically a case now of just like looking through it. Okay. Right. So okay. Next is a good example, I think. Right. Actually, I think I talked about a little bit. Slytherin, you know, text events. So yeah. Okay, right. So basically, with text events, now if you remember, I did tell you to open a bunch of things up here. This is why. So basically, go into your text box here, and then you want to select. Select a new one. So like, select this, and then file. Like hit file, and then new to open a new thing. Hit OK, and then just paste it in, and then just basically open a new layer, and then just start putting text. So let's say go to your preferred, like whatever text size you want, whether you want it bold or not, just, you know, select the colors, do all of that. Okay, so let's see, insert, please, if I'm misspelling this, please forgive me. I'm not very good at working stuff under pressure. Insert text event here. So insert your text like that, and like if you want to add a full stop or something. If you want to highlight something, it's best just to do it afterwards. For example, insert text here, zoom. Like so. Actually, let's make that a bit, there we go. Again, turn down the tolerance if you have to, and yeah. Okay, after that, once it's done, then you just want to collapse all of the layers by pressing Control, Shift, and F. Oops. Control, Shift, and F basically collapses all the layers onto one. And then after that, now if you notice, I did open something up earlier in my in the graphics file. I did that just so I would have a quick save. So again, like over that, save as, and then just save it as text event here. So save that there, like save that, like so. Okay, and then after that, you want to go into your text event, your graphics here, and find whichever you want here. So again, just grab the text event, which we've just made right there. So grab that, and then basically you're looking for audio cues. So again, so let's play it again, and you just want to look for audio cues. Okay, so right, so basically, then you want to just basically insert a text event. Insert a text event there, and then now by default, the text event will be like the text event or graphic will defaultly be there for 5 seconds, but you can also like drag it along to last longer if you want, just by like grabbing it with the select tool and just grabbing it to however long you want. Now, ideally, it is best to have it longer, like have it longer and then just cut it to a certain point. So again, like so. In here, we can go to effects, and then in the search bar, you want to hit cross, and then look for cross dissolve. So grab the cross dissolve, bring that there, and then just basically look here. That. Okay, right. So for example, I put a text event like there, and we want to cut it here. Now again, ideally it's best to make the text event last longer, and then just cut it once you feel like it's no longer needed, pretty much. And then after that, you just basically add another cross at the end, like so. So this is how ultimately it should look. So now we're on to the control bit. So then once again, you want to go to your paint.net. And then you want to open up a few of these according to whatever the controls are. So again, you want to listen to what the controls ultimately are. You can move around. Okay, so move around. Again, a lot of it. Something I forgot to mention when editing is basically, with editing, a lot of it is like when editing a video, when editing any video at all, every video is unique and requires a unique approach. You know, no two videos should be or treat the same way pretty much. So right. So first of all, it's going over the actual. Okay, so again, just find the controls you need, and then just again, according to that, just right. So just select that, like select the controls with your Magic Wand tool in Paint.net. Select that, like so. Then maybe grab the I think the select tool. Well, the little square tool at the top. So select that just so you can get everything. So select all of that, and then you want to go to the add layer tool, and then from there you want to go to the transparent red, the bottom there, transparent red, and then basically hit the backshift key to basically where it was selected, it'll just completely overtake by the transparent red, and then once again you want to collapse the layers, and that's basically that. Additionally, if you want to add a little more, you can go back to the text event and add that there as well if you want, like so. So again, and again, it's a lot of this. It's a bit of a long process, but it's not really something I can rush really. So let's see. So move. Okay, so move with. Move with. So insert your text here, and then you want to go into this layer here, and then basically grab whichever keys or buttons you want with again, it's just a case of whatever you need at the time. Then copy, add another layer. So with copy and then paste, you want to like grab the controls here and just drag it down like so, and yeah, and then after that just save. Once again you want to go to save as. Now, since you've already saved something in there, it's a lot easier now. So let's see. Okay, let's see. 1, and then it's just a case of constantly making more controls as the situation needed, and we'll put it there because it's a nice transition. So let's see. Then we go into that, and then go into. Not 6 p.m. Go to 6, and yeah, basically depending on the situation, you might want to have it bleed into another one, or you might want to have it separate. It depends on the situation. Again, every video is unique and requires a unique approach. Okay, I think the next thing I'm talking about here, I think, is basically in the case of if there's a long awkward pause or a long cut, or if there's something you don't want in the video, it's easy enough to cut it out. For example, if you see here, there's a long like, I think there's a long pause here, I think. Okay, so as you can see, there's a long pause there. So what I want to do here is basically just get your eraser tool again, and then cut there, and then there on both. Then go to select tool, and then select both of them, and then delete them by selecting them, and then hit the delete key. Then you want to grab them, and then just fit them in there, and also add a transition just so that it's just so that it doesn't seem like there's a just so it doesn't seem like there was a big cut there. Okay, there should be like an effect there, but it's not showing for some reason. But yeah, either way, that's how you do that, how you get rid of long pauses. Okay, so basically right here, what we're talking about here is basically in the event that you say something you don't want in the video. Like, for example, say if you swear, for example. So basically, like, have the example, like, here, for example.
Oh, shit!
Okay, so basically just cut that out there.
Oh, shoot!
Okay, and then so basically get to the point where you start saying it and then where it ends.
Shoot.
Like there, for example. So cut that out. So cut that out. Like so.
I did not.
Okay, so that's that cut out, but you can also like get rid of it. Like you can also cover it up with a sound effect as well. For example, if you go back here and open sound effects, give me a sec, and then just get your sound effect of choice for the sake of censoring. So grab that, and let's see how that sounds.
I did not.
Okay, so that's basically how censoring works. Just cut the thing out you don't want said, and then just replace it. Just have something. Just have an audio thing there as well. You might need to balance it. But we'll talk more about that later.
Not mean to.
Right. So the next thing I want to show here is what to do in regards to cutscenes and dialogue. Stuff that you want yourself to be quiet in. Now, here's a bit of advice here. When recording, don't shut off your mic. Don't shut off your microphone at all. Basically, keep your mic on at all times. And if there's noises or talking or coughs or whatever in the actual cutscene, just cut out the audio around it. Because, for example, as you can see here, there's a mini cutscene here which I talk in. As you can see here.
Hello, fat lady.
Okay, so basically, I'm talking right there. So basically, try to get to where the cutscene begins, which is around here, and then just cut where the actual thing is.
Hello, fat lady. Nice to see you too.
Yeah, so basically... Okay, wait for the cutscene to end, which is round there. And we cut that out, and that should be that sort. So let's see here.
For example,
it's good to see you again, Harry.
And that's ultimately what it should look like with your audio like cut out. So that means you can leave your mic on for the whole thing, and if you accidentally talk or cough or something, you can just cut out the audio with not needing to turn off the mic. Just because it saves time in the long run. Okay, and the last little step of this particular bit that I want to show here is just what to do in regards to the intro and outro. So first of all, let's actually begin here. So, right. Now this is where things could get a little interesting here because, right, so let's just treat this first. So again, first, you want to kind of look out for the intro bit, the intro and outro bit. So, okay, we want to look for audio cues here. So let's just listen for the moment.
thank you for
Okay, there's the
tuning
usual
in.
intro stuff.
My name is Lucky Star Shi-Roku. It is a pleasure to meet you. You are joining for the first time. So yeah, if you want to get to know me a little better, I do have an introduction video.
Okay, and whenever you say introduction video, you want to go into your intro file, and then you want to grab the little schedule thing here and just grab that there, and then just grab that along for as long as you're saying it. Again, you might want to skim through it, add a cross effect there as well, and then wait till you basically stop doing the whole stuff with the usual protocol stuff, and then you cut that out again and cross effect, and after that it's just cutting the last little bit off there ish, pretty much. So again, so cut that off, like so. You've basically got the rescheduling thing, like all that, and now it's literally just adding the intro and the outro sequence. So grab the entire thing, like so, and then you want to go into your file here. Okay, find your standard intro, grab it. Okay, now this is a good point actually, because this is annoying. This will happen sometimes when you're dragging stuff in. It doesn't always work. So first of all, when this happens, now you want to basically make sure you save a lot throughout this, especially here, but again, while you're doing this, make sure you're saving all the time. It will auto-save for you, but make sure you're making regular saves as well. That's a very good habit to get into. But the point is, when you're adding the intro and outro file, it will sometimes bug up. So what you want to do here is, first, you want to save your progress. So again, file, and then save. You want to get used to doing this. Get used to doing this a lot. And then you want to close the software and reopen it pretty much. So close the software and reopen it. It'll take a moment. Okay, so again, you basically want to close it, and then you want to go into the last, you want to reopen it just by going to the last thing. Luckily there should be a shortcut here, so again, reopen it, then open it up again. Might take a sec. And then you basically just want to drag your intro and outro file in after that point. Don't know why this works, but it does. Okay, so just grab the intro and outro file there. So intro there, and then the outro there. Now what you want to do here, for the audio of the intro and outro, you want to grab the audio and pull that down till it reaches, let's see, so drag that down here, and then you want to listen to it to make sure it's on the right line. Give it a sec. Okay, it's on the right line, so you want to drag it down to the line below the commentary. Then we can begin the balancing. Like so. You guys. But yeah, I don't know why it does that, but for some reason that always tends to fix it. And then you want to add your cross effects to the intro and outro as well. So add the cross dissolve there, and then go back to beginning, cross dissolve there, and then you want to drag the entire thing back to the start of the timeline. And that pretty much takes care of all of that. So the next one will take a little while, but after that, once you've made all the preparations, once you've done everything, once again you want to hit save. Again, you want to save a lot to make sure. And then once you're done with all of that, you want to highlight everything, highlight the entire thing. Again, you can highlight everything by just using the selector tool, or just ultimately hold down Control A, which will do that for you. And then after that, you want to hit the Enter key, which will make it render. And then you want to leave it to render. It might take a little while to do, but just leave it render. It can take a while, but yeah, just leave it do its thing. Okay, and now once the video is finally rendered, there's just a few last minute preparations. Again, once it's all rendered, once everything is everything good to go, now it's just pretty much balancing at this point. I have turned up my volume a little bit to max, just because when actually editing the volumes, you want to have your headphones cranked up to max, and then you just basically want to get the actual volumes. Basically, you want to get the default volume of the video to be comfortable even at a max volume pretty much. So let's see how that sounds. It might be a bit blurring to you guys. Hopefully I can turn that down in the editing of this, but we'll see. To cut out, so turn that down a bit. So it's easy to cut. It's easy to just either cut all that. Okay, so first of all, let's see how the intro and outro sounds at this point. Let's see here.
Have a good day, you guys.
Okay, turn that down a little bit. Yeah. But yeah, generally the idea is you want to basically have the you want to make sure the volume of all of this is comfortable at max volume. You want all of this to be comfortable even at max volume. You want to then go to File, so go to File and then go to Export, then go to Media. So now you've got this window open. So there's a few things you want to do in here. So first thing, you want to go down to sequence range down here, and then you want to turn that to entire sequence so that it'll render the entire sequence instead of just up to here. So have it render the entire sequence by, again, sequence range, go to entire sequence. And then from that point, you want to go to presets and mess with the presets. So drop down the list. And what I usually do is I usually like have it at a certain preset. So again, in here, hit the Y key, Y for YouTube, and then go all the way down to YouTube. You want to go to YouTube 1080p HD just before 4K pretty much. That's the preferred one that we use. So again, hit Y and then select that. And then after that, it's go to output name, which is basically where you want the final video to be saved to. So in this case, so again, in this particular case, I'm gonna go to, oops, I went a bit too far back there. But, okay, for now, just for the sake of it, let's just put this as, just for the sake of it, so it's, again, save it to wherever you want it to, pretty much, and then, yeah, so have it to wherever you want it saved to, and then just name it. So again, for, let's see, Harry Potter 2 for editing, MP4, and then save it to wherever you want it to, and then after that, just press export.